Hi Laura, this is Jill and Brigid again. It is Saturday, February 8th, and we are moving on to the reformer. So we've situated the reformer from the Cadillac, and Brigid's going to go first, and I'm going to have you lie down, Brigid, on the reformer with your head on the headrest, your shoulders slightly against the shoulder blocks, and feet up on the foot bar. The foot bar is in the middle position. We have 2 red and 1 blue on for this entire series of footwork for her. I particularly like, even for advanced classes, 2 reds and a blue because it prevents pressure against the shoulders. And when we're doing single leg work and more advanced footwork, I just like it better. So we're going to start with 3 progressions, and the beginner is be parallel exactly on your heels, Brigid, so that your feet are actively flexed, palms are at your, arms are extended at your side, reaching for the end of the carriage. And you can fix your headrest however comfortable you'd like it to be for this. And then let's just do some spinal articulations to warm up our spine a little bit. So deep breath in, and then tilt your pelvis, as you blow out, tilt your pelvis towards your nose here. Not really lifting the hips off the carriage, just tilting your tailbone up. Then breathe here, expanding into the side ribs through your nose. Blow out through pursed lips and tilt your pelvis away, so you create that small tunnel of space underneath your waistband. Nice deep breath here, and blow it out, and then settle into neutral. Then as you breathe in, then as you exhale that next breath, push the foot bar away, slowly controlling your springs, keeping your legs parallel, and then return the reformer, tracking your knees over your toes, and then repeat. Try to think about pressing your heels down and dragging the reformer back to the foot bar rather than letting the springs bring you back. Let's do a couple of more here. Keep breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Pursed lips will automatically contract those deeper abdominal muscles. And one more here. And then bring the carriage back into the stopper. Then go into wide second and go into high heel position. I like this for intermediate clients because it activates more inner thigh. It creates more footwork and more tension in the feet, so they have to have stronger feet to be able to maintain this position. So go ahead and pressing down on the foot bar, breathe in and then exhale and push your carriage out. When you extend your legs, try and squeeze your inner thighs so that the legs are trying to come together, and then return the carriage. And then do that again, thinking about spiraling those inner thighs up toward the ceiling and fully extending those knees without popping that kneecap into a hyperextend. I really want you to extend those knees. Then come on back in and do one more. Beautiful. And then return back in. Our advanced exercise in footwork is single leg footwork. So whichever leg you'd like, just do the rear leg, the left leg, go into tabletop and bring it parallel. Other leg comes in on your toes in a parallel position, and extend the carriage here. And I'd like that tabletop to be really level and 90 degrees between the torso and the thigh, and then 90 degrees between the thigh and the knee. And really extend that carriage. Try and use those inner thighs to really extend. There you go. And come back in. One more here. This time as you go out, lower your heel underneath the foot bar, and then raise the heel up and do a calf raise, and then return the carriage. Good job. Now, go ahead and lower your headrest for bridging. And for the beginner series, Brigid, I'd like you to be in parallel on the platform. So both feet are parallel, fully on that sandpaper platform. Try and reach your arms down, and you can scoot down away from the shoulder blocks if that helps you. And sometimes it helps beginners to kind of touch the edge of the carriage with their fingers and grip onto that to give them some purchase. And then go ahead, leaving your feet, knees parallel. Lift your hips into a bridge and do a hinge bridge here, because we don't know about as a beginner, and then lower back down. Raise up again into your bridge, and think about pressing. When you raise up, press it, and go ahead and lower again. But next time you raise up, think about really trying to reach those knees across the room to try and touch that opposite wall, and come on back down. Good work. Now we're on 2 red and 1 blue still here. For intermediate, I'm going to keep you on 2 red and a blue, but you're going into a wide second on a high heel position on the foot bar. So we're mimicking our footwork. You can scoot up against the shoulder blocks if you need to. And high heel position here, because you have, once again, you need more ankle stability, you need more inner thigh stability. It's going to cause more of a balance and a core challenge. So go ahead and press your palms down, inhale, and then exhale, and then lift your hips up into a bridge, keeping that carriage at the stopper, and then lower back down. Now in this position, keep going, do a couple more. In this position, really think about pressing those knees towards the opposite wall as you raise up. Because more than just a hip lift, it's also pressing the knees across like you're almost like a gazelle trying to leap over that foot bar. And 1 more here. And then lower back. Now, if you would like to progress, we can drop you to 2 red. And for the advance, it's going to be single leg bridge work. Would you like to drop down to, I'd like to drop you down to a blue, just 2 red. So we like lighter springs for a progression in a bridge because it requires much more hamstring and core control for the advanced client. Are you okay? Sticky?
Yeah, something was sticky.
Maybe I need to, when we finish, we'll go get wipes and wipe things down. We should probably do that. All right, so single leg footwork. So the other leg that you worked before for footwork was the left leg in tabletop. So let's leave that leg on the bar and let's work the opposite leg in tabletop. And I'd like you, because the trapeze is here, I'd like you to extend that leg up to the ceiling. Go ahead and extend that leg up to the ceiling. Now get the leg parallel with the knee right there. Now I'd like you to go ahead on the lower arch and raise into your bridge and stretch up, and now lower back down. The next one, come up and then lower the leg down to 45 and then bring it back up. Do that one more time and then bring it back up, and now float the hips down. And go up one more time. For our 3rd time, lower the heel towards the trapeze and then back up to 90. And then one more time, raise and lower. Now lower equal, bend your leg into tabletop if you want to, and then lower back down. Good job. All right. You're on 2 red. I'm going to drop you to 1 red and 1 blue, so excuse my reach. And we're going to do some abs on the reformer with your hands in the loops. So reach behind you and get those short loops. And extend your hands to the ceiling, and then bring one leg into the tabletop and the other leg into tabletop. And then reaching down towards your hips, lower your arms so that they hover down to your hip level. And then bring them back up so that they're right at 90 degrees. So stop right there. Okay, now lower again. This is hundreds prep. Couple more here. Remember to keep these feet, don't let the feet drop in towards each other, and do 1 more. And then rest. Good job. Now the next exercise is for a more intermediate client, and we're going to do single leg stretch with T-arms. So I'd like to start with the T-arms first. So arms extend up to the ceiling, palms facing each other. Lower them to hover right at your hips over the carriage. One leg into tabletop, the other leg into tabletop. Now bring your arms out into a T-raise. And then lower them, squeeze them back down to the hips. The next time they go out, come back in. And then this time as the arms go out, extend your right leg to 45 in a single leg stretch. Yep. And then come back in. And the arms go out to the T as the other leg goes out to a single leg stretch. Do one more on each side. Keeping that pelvis nice and neutral, no belly popping, keep those ribs connected to the hips, and then rest your feet down on the footboard. Bend your elbows to rest your arms from the, and then dock your loops. Now, and I know I'm gonna stop saying now, one of the no-nos. We're gonna do feet and straps next. So first variation is you're on one red and one blue. Let's keep you there. Reach back and get a long loop and put long loop on each foot. And then point your legs up to the ceiling to get started. Now flex your feet and lower to 45 degrees, and then bend your knees into a parallel frog. No, not a Pilates V, a parallel bend and stretch. So bend your legs into parallel. Try not to bring them in too far so you keep your tailbone down on the carriage, and then extend to 45. It's like a parallel frog, not a Pilates V frog. So another bend and stretch. One more. And then straighten your legs parallel all the way up to the ceiling. And flex your feet as you lower and lift. Flex on the way down and point on the way up. Remember to keep your abs engaged, palms are pressed down to the carriage, shoulder blades are rolled down and pressed towards your hips. Remember to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. And do one more here. And then remove your loops. Looking pretty good. All right. So swing around so you are facing the straps. And I'd like you to extend your legs onto your flat headrest. I'm lowering your spring load down to one red for our upper body work facing straps. And we're gonna start with your legs extended and then grab the short loops, one in each hand, and extend your arms in front of you and then palms facing down. Then bring your arms and your fingers, try and palm the loops rather than fist them, if that makes sense to you. And then press down to the sides on the outside of the wooden carriage, so you'll have to open up and do a V for chest expansion, and then return back. And then as you reach down, really reach towards that floor to lower those shoulder blades down towards the carriage as you reach back. And then come one more time right behind the hips, and then come forward. Now bring your arms back down to parallel with your hips. Now bend your elbows into a tricep extension. So you're bending your elbows and then straightening, and then bend and straighten, and then bend and straighten, and bend more. Extend your arms back out, and then dock your loops. Dock your loops. And then turn around and face the rear of the studio. So face your foot bar. For upper body facing away. Sitting crisscross applesauce. For the beginner move, we're going to do reverse chest expansion. So reach behind and get your short loops. This time, and you can have long loops if this is too difficult or you feel like you need more support today. Palms are facing the aisle, arms are reaching down on the outside of the wooden platform, and you take a deep breath, and as you exhale, you lift your arms up into a reverse chest expansion, and then return back to right at hip level. And then exhale as you lift your arms up, and then inhale as you lower, keeping that back straight. Do a couple more here. Weight is equally dispersed on your sits bones, your abs are contracted, your shoulder blades are pressed together and down towards the hips. And then rest and dock your loops for a minute. The intermediate move I have for Brigid today is a salute with a hip hinge and a low kneel. Are you able to low kneel? So go ahead and get into your low kneel position with your feet on the headrest, so you have the shoulder blocks right there, and then reach behind you one at a time and grab your loops, moving to your short loops. You may need long loops for this. This is salute with the hip hinge slightly forward. So arms in the short loops come up and form a diamond shape above and right in front of our forehead. Hip hinge slightly forward, so lean slightly forward, that's a progression, and then extend the arms out to 45 and then bring them back to the forehead. Extend as you exhale, keeping that back flat, trying to keep the shoulder blades down, shoulders remain in their sockets, and extend one more time, and return to your forehead, sit up, straighten your arms down, and release your loops onto the pegs. And let's see, now we get to do short box abdominals. Do you want to go ahead and teach me before we move to short box, or let's just do all of you on the reformer?
Yeah, we can do all of
Okay. So, this is the short box. I'm turning you off now, Laura.